Hi, everyone. This is Kathy, and I am vlogging about my change in diet to becoming a carnivore. And so I think this is vlog 2, and I wanted to go over why I'm doing this, why I changed my diet, and then kind of go over some health problems that I have that I'm hoping to have resolved or cured because I changed my diet. And so, my first thing is the definition of a carnivore. What is that? Or the carnivore diet, as some people call it. It is when all you eat are animal products. So, an animal product would exclude any vegetables, vegetable oils, fruits, those are gone too, bread, pasta, all of that. And so that is gone from my life. I'm also have no sugar in my diet, with one exception. I'll talk about that. um, it's my one holdout when it comes to this diet. So that definition of eating only animal products sounds very restrictive, but it's not as much as you think. And this diet can look different to different people depending on their health and what's going on with them or how they react to certain types of food. I am lucky in that I don't have um, a lot of problems with most meats, I don't think. However, I do not eat processed meats, so no hot dogs, which I do have issues with. Um, Lunch meat is out for me. Sausages, I love my breakfast sausages, and they are no more in my life. Um, I don't use vegetable oils at all. Um, and again, I'm literally looking at labels for sugar everywhere. I found out that bacon is normally sugar cured. Um, I don't know 100% what that means or how much sugar is left after the curing, but I'm avoiding that as well. Maybe that'll be a topic for the future. I don't know. I'm going to shift the camera here just a little bit. Okay. And so I just wanted you guys to know that some people will have a completely different diet. Some are even more restricted to only one type of meat. Some restrict dairy, which it comes from an animal, so it's technically on the list. Um, Eggs are on the list too. I never like to put eggs in the um, dairy category. They're like in a world all their own. Okay, my issues. Sorry, I've got a lot of it written down. Uh, I'm going to talk about the first one is something that has actually resolved, and that is brain fog. Now, that's a weird terminology, but um, I would wake up tired. Um, I would lack motivation. If a problem I had to solve required more than 2 steps to do it, it would stress me out and I would not do it. It would be like, that is too much. My brain can't handle it. I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm adjusting the camera again. Sorry. Okay. But just getting off of all that sugar has just woken my brain up. I feel like it's going a mile a minute. I have an idea every 30 seconds. And if I don't have something to write it down, I lose it. You know, it may come back to me later, of course. But like when I have my books here, I'm writing down my ideas for videos or things I want to remember and whatnot. It's just constant. It's constant. I love that. I feel like my brain feels like when I was a kid. I love it. And that happened within 3 days of me removing the sugars and most of the processed food. So next, I have Well, I talked about being lethargic. I don't think I truly had chronic fatigue syndrome, but it was just adjacent to that. Like, I could not motivate myself to get up and clean, do simple tasks. Doing the dishes was like, oh my God, I got to do the dishes. Oh, I got to stand there. I would go to the store, grocery store, and just that walking around, I'm not in there for hours or anything. I come home and I'm exhausted and I just wanted to go to bed, or I sit down in front of the TV for the next 5 hours and watch YouTube videos. If that sounds like you, it's because you got sugar brain. Get rid of it. Stop eating the sugar. If you want a healthy brain, stop eating the sugar. I won't say that my energy levels are like through the roof, but I went to 3 different places shopping today, came home, put them away. I was ready to do more stuff. I did not have that exhaustion anymore. Now, I'm carrying a lot of weight. My current weight is 249. I had started 3 weeks ago on December 15th, and I was 257. So, or 56. Shoot, I had that written down somewhere. So I've already lost 7-8 pounds. And I'll tell you this, it's water weight, which is the next thing I had. Inflammation. You have no idea, like, so much when you see someone who is obese, so much of that is water and inflammation, and they don't know it. And because that's just not explained or talked about, that when you're eating too much sugar and carbs, your body it's an inflammatory response is part of it. And so I would be so stiff, I could barely get my foot up onto my knee to tie my shoes. And when I did, I'd have to sit back and like reach out my hands to tie them because I couldn't bend forward. And I was like, God, I'm so overweight. I can't even do this. Or if I bent down to tie my shoe on the floor, I had to like expel all the air out of my lungs to be able to get down there to reach, to make room for what I thought was the fat. Within, I think it was 3 to 5 days, so much of that went away. Fat squishes, it's a squishy thing. And so now I can bend over. I have only lost 7 pounds, but I can bend over and tie my shoes and not even think about it. And when the first time I did it, I had to pause and I was like, I almost cried. I was like, why is this so easy after just 2 weeks on this diet? It was amazing. Putting my foot up, getting in and out of the shower and just drying myself off was often such a chore because I'd have to twist and move and bend to get things dry, And all of a sudden I was all like, oh, this is really easy to do. And so it's not the obesity that was the problem. Well, I mean, obviously it's an issue. But having that inflammation leaving my body, having that water weight leave, has just been great. Now, I have other issues unrelated that the diet isn't going to fix. Like, I have scoliosis, so my lower back is curved, and all this weight putting stress on that and on my SI joints, which is sacroiliac joints, there's 2 of them, is an issue for me. And I'm still tight there. And those are things that I'm going to be adding in and probably talking about stretching and some light exercise to help improve those issues I have. Getting the weight off will probably improve them greatly because I'll have so much less weight on my joints and on my back. Let's see. The next thing, about a year or 2 years ago, my left foot swelled up. Now, I've had issues on and off with my ankle swelling. That's pretty typical on the American diet. If you're eating a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar, the ankles could swell. That's part of the inflammatory process. that I didn't have so much anymore for some reason, but my left foot was swollen to the point where I was wrapping it, and like even the compression hose wasn't working because it doesn't compress the toes. Like my toes were swollen, and so I was wrapping them, um, and on the regular to keep the swelling down because they would start to like ache a little bit. But I mean, I knew that was not good. But again, my brain was so tired and I was so lethargic, and the thought of going somewhere and trying to deal with that medically, it caused too much anxiety for me to address. That's one of my great things that I've always done is like if it's causing me too much stress, I can ignore it. I'll be like I'll deal with it another day. It's kind of denial. And I didn't understand that it was not me. It was what I was eating that was causing this brain fog and this tiredness. Um and then excuse me. Since I have done this diet, um, the swelling isn't 100% gone, but I can actually see, you know how you can see your blood vessels on the back of your hand and on top of your foot? I couldn't even see those on that swollen foot, and I can see them now. And the toes aren't as big as they used to be. And I feel comfortable putting sandals on. Like I haven't worn sandals in forever, and I live in a warmer climate. So I wouldn't even put sandals on because that foot looked so horrible. And now it's barely noticeable. So I'm so excited about that. Now, let's see. Next on my list, obesity. You know, my weight has gradually gone up since I was in college. You know, actually, it stayed the same for a good decade or two. And then I had new stressors added in, and I slowly started really getting addicted to sugar. Like I was always one to eat it, but then it got worse. And I think that's how it is for everybody. It like gradually just kind of gets worse and worse and worse. And so according to everything I've seen, you know, I'm treating all these other problems with my diet, but it's also going to let the weight come off without me feeling hungry, or like not satiated. And I don't have to go to the gym. I don't have to run 5 miles. None of that. According to the specialists who talk about carnivore, I don't have to do any of that. I just got to eat meat. And I'm like, I'm all in. You know, when I heard that, I was like, I can eat as much as I want, but just of this. But I love it. I love meat. Um, Great. Let's try it. And then the more that I've learned and just how I've felt in these last 3 weeks has been amazing. And I'm still learning, and I'm going to hopefully pass on this information to you as I get it more handled. Um, let's see. Another problem I've had that some people may also understand is a term called allodynia, which means what would normally just be a touch, like if somebody touched my arm. This is an example, this isn't the exact, but sometimes a touch to somebody could be painful to somebody with allodynia. And I had that, particularly in my legs. If my cats walked on me, they I would be in such screaming pain. And when they get off, the pain would still throb for several minutes. And now, granted, if anybody's had their cat walk on them, it hurts, but it's pretty extreme. Um, when I used to go to have massages, it was like the massage therapist I'd be like, no, you got to do it lighter. No, you got to do it lighter, like 3 times, and they were all like, oh my god, I'm barely touching you. And I go, I know, but it hurts too much in certain areas. That is going away. It's not gone yet. Um, but I hope that continues. You know, that's probably part of the nervous system. And and how much that gets damaged with high sugars and high insulin levels in the body. Because obviously, you know, you hear diabetics, they get, um, they end up losing feeling in their feet. You know, the nerves get severely damaged from high blood sugar. And so I've been lucky in that I haven't had that happen. Um, I am probably pre diabetic. I'm again, don't go to the doctor. I'm bad. Don't get checked. I do know that my sugars are regularly normal. But that doesn't mean I don't have high insulin levels in my body, which is also a problem. That's the topic for another discussion. So, a couple other things. I snore, and there are people on YouTube that have talked about how their snoring went away. So, we'll see what happens with that. GERD, I get acid reflux. And that's slowly built um, over the last few years, and I'm taking um, medicine daily for that. And I think I could probably come off the medicine at this point because I'm just feeling so good. But things often take several weeks to really start getting the healing in. You got to give your body time. I'm the most impatient person ever that you will ever meet. It's like I try something for 2 minutes. If I can't get it, boom, I'm done. And that's been since childhood. I have memories of me just being totally impatient about stupid things. So I'm gonna stay on the medicine for now, but I'm thinking at like the 5 or 6 week mark, I'm gonna try stopping that. I have an interesting allergic response, and that's itchy skin. Pruritus is the medical term for that. If I'm not on at least a little bit of an antihistamine every day, my scalp starts to itch. My legs will start to itch. Um, uh, just recently, I went on a trip. I forgot all my meds, and I take only over the counter stuff. But so I had to pick up more, and I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm on a vacation. Got nothing else going on. Let's just not do the antihistamine." And on day 2, I started scratching. I'm like, dig in. I'll wake up in the middle of the night scratching my head or scratching some other body part. So obviously that hasn't resolved. I am suspicious that I'm allergic to coffee. I know there are certain types of coffee that will set me off, um, but it's possible that all coffees set me off, and I just haven't admitted that yet. Um, Coffee is that one cheat I still have because I also put cream and sugar in it. And I've been denying, like, I've been saying for the coffee, oh, it's the ritual. You know, I love a hot drink in the morning. I love my coffee in the morning. I don't want to get rid of it yet. You know, no, guess what? I'm addicted to the sugar I'm putting in the coffee. I hate black coffee. That tastes terrible. I can do cold brew coffee, but it's cold. I want something hot. Um, so I haven't let go of that yet. But I can also now, into week 3 and into 4 here, I can totally tell it's a sugar addiction because my brain that part of my brain is what's lighting up. Like I'm even now like, oh, it's later in the day. I could go get some decaf. How about a cup of decaf? Yeah. And it's tricky because it's talking about the coffee, but it's really wanting the sugar that I'm putting in the coffee. So I'll get rid of that eventually, but it's my one holdout in everything. I think the last thing on my list, really quick, is that a couple years ago, I got an upper respiratory, and and it wasn't COVID, and it stayed all up here, but I ended up having um, dizziness with it for like 2 months. Like if I moved too fast, I would suddenly have to pause and steady myself. There were days when I would have full vertigo. I couldn't go to work. If I tried to get out of bed, I'd fall to the ground because like up was down and down was up. I'm bringing that up because it started giving me a headache that wouldn't go away. And I don't get headaches. It's very, very rare for me. I had a headache that was constant for 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks. I went to bed with it. I woke up with it. I took anti-inflammatories. They didn't work. Um, and all that, I started having so much pain in my face and in the muscles that I started having TMJ problems, the temporomandibular joint. That joint is what allows you to open and close your mouth. And since then, I've had to have my jaw adjusted by a chiropractor. That hurts so bad. It is not fun. It's helped, but it's always been temporary. And so I'm also finding out that this side gets tight. This side is the side that hurts. And it could also, I can hear it clicking, like just something's not quite right. And getting ready for this video, I realized I'm not going to do it on the camera. Like opening my mouth really wide, I realized I'm not feeling the pain anymore, and I'm barely feeling the clicking. And so I was really like, is that getting better? And so that may be like maybe part of this, I really thought, I was like, oh great, my jaw has gone out of joint. And even though it's only subtle, it's just barely, and having this disease, I got to live with this the rest of my life. How horrible is that? And I think I actually am healing from that. So I am so excited about that. Because that was another thing that was depressing me. That was the last thing I should probably say, is that I was depressed, but nothing bad, like nothing severely bad has happened to me. I mean, in recent times, I have had some loved ones that have passed. So I've had stressors like that. I have a job absolutely love. I'm doing this job till I retire. Like, I'm golden on that. I love it, love it, love it. That's not a stress. It's a physical stress, but not a mental stress. So it's like, why was I depressed? It wasn't. My brain was literally, the function of my brain was depressed so that I just couldn't cope with normal stuff. And now it's like nothing. I was like, I have a million things that I have to fix. So my light just went out. If you suddenly saw the color change, this newbie YouTuber here. So sorry about that. But things that would be like, I have so much crap, I'm going to use that word, piled up of things that I haven't dealt with. My house is a mess. I look like a hoarder. I'm only mildly a hoarder, but I usually have always kept my stuff clean. I keep everything in place. It's not. It's an absolute trash mess. And it's because of this depression and this tiredness and this brain fog that's been going on for 2 years now, severe. And now I see all of this and I'm so excited to change it. I'm like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get it done. And now, again, I don't have all my energy back. So, obviously 2 years of mess and stupid things I've bought and don't need, or bought it and never did anything with it. I got to deal with all that stuff, and it's not going to be done overnight. It'll take me a few months probably to get everything under control, because I do have a full-time job, working too, but I'm excited now to be able to get that done. So this video went a lot longer than I thought it would. I'm going to stop there. And I didn't talk about female problems. I may do that in another video. But we'll just go from there. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that I have earned your subscription, and you all have a blessed day.